Right, for a change, we've come outside to do the big match preview. We take on Newcastle Wednesday night. Another tough fixture. Good 3 points on Sunday. You know, a clean sheet as well.
Yep.
Taking that into the Newcastle game, I feel that may have just eased a bit of the pressure that you saw in the Southampton game.
Yeah, I think if we'd have come away from that game without a win, I think the energy from the crowd on Wednesday would be, quite edgy, I think, and would not equate well for the nerves of the players. Because I say even at the Southampton game, there were, a few misplaced passes, and the fans started getting on their back. And at this stage of the season, the position we're in, you don't need that.
No, and the problem is with the position that we're in, we can't afford to start quietly. You know, we were very, very hesitant against Southampton, as we saw up at Newcastle earlier in the season. A poor start, we found ourselves a goal down very, very quickly. We can't afford that.
2 or 3 days, they had a couple disallowed up there. So, that's been our problem all season, really. Certainly up to a few weeks ago, we start every game very slowly. I mean, over here against Chelsea, could have been 3-0 down in 20 minutes.
No,
2 goals disallowed. So
and that's the thing. I still haven't scored in the first opening 15 minutes of a game.
We hadn't seen him in the division. To do that, not to score in that period of time.
Yeah, and that's quite worrying when you go into the run of fixtures we got. But look, they're pushing for the top 4. They've got some very, very exciting players. Certain players in the side that started against Southampton. Do you see that we're going to have any changes going into this game?
Well, I think the main change after the Southampton performance should be Souček. But we'll get onto that in a bit. But other than that, I'll say the back line's got to stay as it is, I think.
See, I disagree. I think that with St Maximin on their left-hand side running up against Kehrer, I'd like to see Soufal back in.
Yeah, maybe. But I thought Kehrer had a good game against Southampton.
He did have a good game against Southampton, but the problem for me is with a player of St Maximin's ability, his pace, his trickery as well. I know, look, Kehrer's an international right-back for Germany, but I feel he will get exposed at times, and I really do think that this game we need Soufal's tenacity and workmanship coming in. I feel that he'll offer a lot more protection up against St Maximin. He'll relish the battle. I don't think Kehrer will relish the battle against St Maximin.
Yeah, I say Soufal likes the physicality of it, doesn't he? The physical side of the game. He likes the battle. We've seen that in the past. He doesn't shy away from anything. Yeah,
and also the pace that he's got. He's a lot quicker than what Kehrer is. So you've got to look at that side of it. They come obviously with Callum Wilson. He didn't start against United, but he's got a very, very good record against us. He's another player that we need to keep an eye on.
I was thinking that before we come on. I was thinking Callum Wilson, obligatory goal against us usually, isn't it? So hopefully we can keep him quiet. But for me, like say, if you got to cut the ball out, don't get the ball to him.
Yeah, and funny enough, that leads me on to what I was just about to say to you. I think the key battle for this one's going to be in the centre of midfield. Yeah. And that's why probably with what you were saying with a change for Souček coming out of the side, with is it Bruno? What's his surname? Bruno Guimaraes. I think it's Longstaff and Joe Linton is normally their midfield 3. Yeah. That is going to be a key area.
Be a handful, that midfield.
Yeah, we can't afford to allow them to run that midfield.
No. I mean, I personally, I may get shot down in flames this one. I'd put Downs in.
Yeah.
Because Downs, he's better on the ball than Souček, but also feel he does get stuck in. He never shies away from a tackle.
Yeah.
Whereas I think against Southampton, Souček, I don't know, he was just off the pace. He was slacking possession. He missed a few tackles. He missed a fair few tackles. Yeah. But I think having Downs in there will give us a little bit more bite.
Yeah, and I think we're going to need that because we're going to need to boss that midfield area. When we look at it, it looks like we've going into the game against Newcastle, we're going to be unscathed injury-wise. I don't think anyone picked up any knocks today. I know Zuma got took out right at the final whistle, but he seemed to walk off the pitch quite comfortably. So, obviously, Skamaka, he was missing from the matchday squad today. Apparently he's got an injury, so we'll have to wait and see on that. But other than that, we're back to full fitness. So, looking at the fact we've got a fully fit squad, what are you going to go for your 11? Not the 11 you'd like to see us in this game.
The 11 I'd like to see.
The 11 you'd like to see.
Obviously, Fabianski in goal. Emerson left back.
Yeah.
Guerd and Zuma in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with Kera.
Yeah.
Right back. So I think he had a good game. It'd be harsh if he got dropped after having a good game. And then I'd have Downs and Rice as the two, and then the three in front of them I would have Benrahma, Bowen, Paqueta, and then I'd have Ings up front.
So you'd stick with Ings, even though today he looked very isolated at times. And
yeah, but I think we'll play a different way against Newcastle, because today it was more about. It was very, very edgy, very cagey, and I think it was just about not conceding and getting the 3 points at all costs. So we didn't really get Ings into the game enough.
Yeah.
Whereas I think it'll be a little more expansive against Newcastle. So I think we can get him into the game a bit more.
Yeah, I'm sort of with you. But as I said in the build up to the 2-11s, I'm Soufal went right back. The other three keep their place. I think Fabianski showed enough today. Showed enough against Southampton. So why he should be picked. I've been a big fan of Areola, but I trust Fabianski at the minute. He's come back from the injury, so I'm going to stay with him. Midfield three, I'm with you. Downs needs to come in with Paqueta and Rice. We need to dominate that midfield. And I'd go for Cornet if he's fully fit instead of Benrahma. I want to see us a bit more direct and give Ings a bit more to work with. Benrahma against Southampton was very, very hesitant to get forward.
He was the first 20, 25, but I thought as the game went on and Emerson started the overlaps and I thought he
but I just think we need a bit more directness. So I'm going to say Cornet on the left, Ings up top with Bowen on the right. So obviously the news coming out during the Southampton game was Leicester getting rid of Brendan Rodgers. I think now only us and Nottingham Forest in the bottom half of the league are the only two teams not to change manager. Do you think us sticking with Moyes has been the right decision?
Well, at the moment you'd have to say yes, because we've picked up some points recently. So based on that, you would have to say yes.
Yeah.
But I'd just like to see us be a little more positive in our play at times. Under Moyes.
I feel that they've bit the bullet. They've dropped into the bottom three. It's crazy when you look at it. Two teams over the past 2 seasons that have been pushing the top six and find themselves both before the Southampton game propping up almost the table, and it's a massive fall from grace at the moment, especially for Leicester in the position they're in. And I think Brendan, a lot like Moyes, was on borrowed time.
Yeah, I mean the thing is with Rodgers as well. Every club he's been at, he'll have a good first 2 seasons.
Yeah,
and then he'll drop off. He did it at Swansea, he did it at Liverpool. He's done it now at Leicester. So yeah, I mean Leicester were in free fall, so they had to do something.
Yeah, but we've also been in that position of being free fall, and we've stuck with it. I'll take scrappy 1-0 wins all day long till the end of the season. The main thing is survival and getting in that. But I don't feel now would be the right time to change Moyes. Look, no. I'm not Moyes in. I feel that his time at the football club is coming to an end, and I think the end of the season, hopefully with us staying in and winning the conference, and winning the Conference League, will be the right time for him to bow out. It's just because I don't see anyone out there at the moment who would want to take.
Yeah, who's going to want to come into a relegation battle.
That's it. And then you're going back to the same situations, that merry-go-round of managers that are. They're there to put the fire out. They're there to keep you in the league, and then
there's certain go-to managers.
Yeah.
When you're in that sort of situation,
and I'll be honest, all them go-to managers will play exactly the same style and exactly the same football.
It'll be not lose, not concede, win at all costs. Doesn't matter if it's ugly football.
Yeah.
So you'll be swapping Moyes for.
Another,
sort of thing.
Exactly.
So,
a Moyes for an Allardyce, which will be exactly similar, lump up. Well, probably even worse than football-wise, because we played some dross under him.
Yeah.
So for me now, I just think we stick with Moyes to the end of the season. Pray that we get some more wins under our belt. Get out of the situation we're in, and hopefully again get 3 points against Newcastle.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've got enough to get out of it.
Yeah.
Especially with the games we've got coming up. We've got we've still got to play teams around us.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're games we must win. But again, they're going to be cagey. They're going to be nervy.
Yeah.
So
I know it's one of the worst things, but you look at the games against Newcastle, City, Arsenal. I think we've still got to play United as free hits. You know, Liverpool. That used to be one of them say, if we get beat there, it don't really matter. But Liverpool's a game that I think we can go and win if we apply ourselves in the right way. And I think a lot of it now is Moyes has got to try and remove the negativity of let's not get beat and have a bit of positivity, especially going into the Newcastle fixture. But we'll have to wait and see.
Against teams like Newcastle and Liverpool and Man City, and you can't afford to sit deep and allow them to dictate.
Yeah,
you got to really not go toe to toe as it like if you go toe to toe with Man City, they'll tear you to pieces. But you can't just sit there and meekly roll over and have your belly tickled. You got to show a bit of fight, against these teams. So.
Exactly, and that's what we want to see. As I said, we want to see a performance like we saw at St James's Park, barring that first 10 minutes. That's what I say. Yeah. Looking at the game, what is your prediction for the result?
I think it's going to be another draw as it was up there this year. I think it's going to be 1-1 again. I think. That's
fair. We're unbeaten in our last 3 against them. 2 1-1 draws in the last 2 fixtures, 4-2 win before that. I'm sort of with you. I honestly don't see us losing the game. We've got a good form at home now, so I'm going to sit on the fence and I'm going to say this one's going to be a 2-2 draw.
Ooh.
I fancy a few goals, a bit of entertainment on a Wednesday night. So one to look forward to.
I say we normally have decent games with Newcastle. They're normally pretty good to watch.
Yeah, and a bit of pressure off because we've got the 3 points against Southampton.
I think that's going back to what we said earlier. I think that's why it won't be as cagey from us now. We've got that under our belt.
Yeah,
I think we'll relax a little bit more. Maybe be a little more expansive.
But mate, thank you very much for joining me on this one.
Thanks for having me on, mate.
That's all right, always a pleasure. Make sure you check out all the other content. Go back and look at all the fan cams and the post-match reaction for the Southampton game. We will be back on Thursday, Friday with a build-up to the game against Fulham. And Gray, as usual, one thing left to say, mate.
Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.